Welcome to AI Beginner's Circle, the place where learning AI is made simple for everyone. We especially focus on beginners over 40 who may feel new to technology. But don't worry, you're not alone. I'm learning right alongside you, and together we'll take it step by step so you can build confidence and start using AI in your everyday life. Let's get started.
So again, this is my AI learning or tutorial channel where basically, honestly, you're learning with me. I'm learning still also myself. I believe for the most part, my target audience is people maybe over 40, over 50 that have never used AI before. And you need to know where to start. Maybe you've looked at some of the videos on YouTube and it looks like it's just they're moving too fast or they're already too advanced with some of the things they're doing. And I just want to start out with the basics. And actually now we have a complete clean slate. I'm retreading some of the things I've learned and sharing with you. And I'm doing it as kind of a more of a basic way because I've watched a lot of tutorials. Some of it seemed to be going over my head when I first started. And I want to save people who've never used it before or not familiar with AI some of that pain. So what are we going to ask ChatGPT now? I think I am going to go with the money. But I believe, especially if you're over 40, over 50, you're probably thinking about your money, right? With everything's going on about retirement and pensions and stocks going up and down and Social Security in the future, economy that seems like it may be slowing down, the Fed's not lowering percent interest rates, things like that. We're thinking about money. And hey, if you're younger and you're just getting started, you're probably worried about money also. I mean, who isn't worried about money? So I think that's the first thing we're going to do with ChatGPT. We're going to talk about money. So I am going to type into here. We're going to ask ChatGPT, I would like to open a bank account, certificate of deposit, CD. Honestly, if you misspelled in ChatGPT, for the most part, we'll know. It'll understand that was a mistake, but I'm just a stickler for just going ahead and correcting misspellings and things like that. I would like to open a bank account, certificate of deposit, with about $1,000, right? And that's the thing about ChatGPT, like you literally can just talk into it however you want. If you don't type as much out, you can just shorthand, it'll still probably understand and get you to where you need to go. This is just how I talk or how I type, so this is how I'm entering it in. I would like to open a bank account, certificate of deposit with about $1,000. I would like to start with a 6-month CD. I would like to know which bank would give me the best percent. Look for online banks as well as traditional banks. Let me know the best 3 online banks and the best 3 traditional banks for the best 6 months percent of growth. Enter. All right. We have our results, and it says, here are the top options for a 6-month CD with around $1,000 deposit, divided into online banks and traditional banks based on the most recent data as of early August 2025. Our top 3 online banks, great APIs, low to moderate deposit minimums based on, and it's telling you where it got the information from. NerdWallet, Bankrate, Investopedia, Bread Savings is going to give you a 4.45% API, requires a minimum of 1,500, so it's slightly above our 1,000 target, but worth considering as it's at 4.45%, which is not bad. It says E-Trade has a 4.45% APY with no minimum deposit. So that one looks like it's definitely a contender if we really do only have that 1,000. And Marcus by Goldman Sachs has a 4.4% APY with $500 minimum deposit. This one is FDIC insured and easy to open online. So this one is not the highest, but it definitely has, you see each one has their pros and cons. Other strong contenders, Bank 5 Connect at 4.40% with a 500 minimum. First Internet Bank at a 4.28% API with the 1,000 minimum that we suggested. Now, you see Bread Savings has the 4.45%, but it has a 1,500, it's over our minimum. E-Trade has also the 4.45% with no minimum deposit. So this is likely far as how much we want to spend versus along with the highest percentage rate on E-Trade. But for me personally, because I like to play it safe, I would likely probably go with this Marcus by Goldman Sachs, even though it's slightly smaller at 4.40 instead of the 4.45. It has the 500 minimum deposit, but it's FDIC insured. That is a big pro to me, knowing that my money is insured, especially dealing with an online bank. A lot of online banks, it may be like, is it safe to put this money in here? This is FDIC insured. And again, you don't just go to ChatGPT and let it just give you information. Now we have this information of the top 3 online banks. Now you know where you need to research instead of just blindly going through Google, researching a bunch of banks. ChatGPT has narrowed it down for us. Now we don't just say, hey, this is our decision. Now we go and do some research on our top option, and likely I'm going to go look at Marcus by Goldman Sachs because it's FDIC insured, and I know my money should be safe. All right, so now we are at top 3 traditional banks, right? These are major national brands. We have Capital One 360 at 4.20% API with no minimum deposit. And of course, Capital One has that brand recognition. We know who that is, right? So, that might, you might have some ease of thought and feel comfortable with Capital One, knowing that, they're a major institution. We have Discover Bank at 4.2% APY with no minimum deposit. And then we have Wells Fargo around 1.5% APY for a 6-month CD with a $2,500 minimum deposit. That one does not look as appealing to me at all. I mean, Wells Fargo, that's pretty low compared to the other ones. So it says the first 2 are online accessible too, but they are part of a large traditional bank. So that may, look appealing to you. And as you see, check it out. ChatGPT has given us a summary table of the information. So now you have it all right here for you to look over and decide what may be the best one for you. And when you go down, ChatGPT gives you a little more information, what to pick based on your needs. If you're comfortable with online, only large banks or broker banks that have $1,000 or more, the best pick is E-Trade or Marcus Goldman Sachs, as they offer the top APY without requiring any minimum deposit. Marcus gives you the 4.4%, only $500. And if you prefer a familiar bank with online access, go with Capital One 360 or Discover. And it says avoid brick and mortar heavy banks like Wells Fargo, whose 6-month APR is 1.5%, significantly lower. So as you see right here, ChatGPT is looking out for you, right? It's telling you, we ain't doing that. All right. So things to keep in mind: FDIC or NCUA insurance. All these options are federally insured up to $250,000 per depositor per institution. And like I said, this is why the FDIC insured looks appeasing to me, because all is insured up to $250,000. So if anything goes wrong, you can get your money back. early withdrawal penalties. If you withdraw before 6-month maturity, penalties can reduce your earnings. Some banks like Marcus or CIT offer no penalty CDs, but with slightly lower APY, 4.15% and 4.34%. I didn't know that. I didn't even know there was a such thing as a no penalty CD. So, I mean, look, we're learning things, right? And that might look good to you. I already said I like the Marcus with the FDIC, and it's saying that there's no penalty option. So then what that does is it lets you stick that money in there with the high interest rates, hopefully to earn in 6 months. But if something happens in emergency and you need to get that cash out, you can get it with no penalty. All right. So these rates are current as of early August 2025. And recommendation, given your $1,000 top deposit and desire for a 6-month CD, the best fit options today are E-Trade, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, or Capital One 360. And if you can stretch to 1,500, where savings also offers that top 4.45%. And now, ChatGPT even starts asking questions like to drill down to find out if there's any more information you need, and you can kind of start going with that. So it says, would you like help comparing early withdrawal terms, exploring no penalty CD options, or confirming current rates right now with those banks? So we're going to take it a step further with the top 6-month CDs. And now you'll see what I meant by your history chat. You see your top 6-month CDs is right there. And we're going to continue in this chat, and we're going to say, I would like to compare early withdrawal terms and explore no penalty CD options. See, we didn't even know about that no penalty option, so it wasn't included in the first chat request. So now ChatGPT is nudging you towards more information that it thinks you might need or want. And the more you use it, the more questions you ask it, it will start giving you more information, and it will start helping you formulate a plan that you might not even knew you were ready for or needed. I typed in, I would like to compare early withdrawal terms and explore no penalty CD options. Says here's a detailed comparison of early withdrawal penalties and no penalty CD options for short-term savers like you. Updated as of late July, early August 2025. Traditional standard 6-month CD penalty rules. For regular fixed rate 6-month CDs, no penalty, most banks impose penalties if you withdraw before maturity. Standard penalties typically equal 3 to 6 months worth of interest, depending on the institution and the term length. For short terms, it's usually 90 days, 3 months of accrued interest. So that means if you pull out early, you're not getting any of the interest it built. All right. Marcus by Goldman Sachs, for example, charges anywhere from 90 to 270 days of interest, depending on CD term length. So on a 6-month CD, expect approximately 90 days, 3 months of forfeited interest. Capital One have relatively moderate penalties, often around 90 days. Interest on a 6-month CD. They advertise as low early withdrawal penalty among traditional banks. And now it's going to give us some no penalty CD options with early full withdrawal allowed after first week. So it says these allow you to withdraw the full balance after about 6 to 7 days from funding with no penalty, meaning you receive all the interest earned up to that day. So Climate First Bank 6-month no penalty CD, 6-month term, APY 4.34%, minimum 500, penalty none after the initial FDIC mandatory hold period of 6 days. And this has also told us this is the first time we heard of Climate First Bank. We're also finding out that they have no penalty CD. We also get from this they are FDIC insured, so your money's going to be safe. Marcus from Goldman Sachs. If you put it in the no penalty for a 7-month, 13-month, or 11-month, you're looking at, see, Marcus is going to give you 4.15% instead of the 4.4% if you go no penalty, and a minimum of $500. It says no penalty after 7 days of account funding. Entire balance must be withdrawn in one transaction. No partial additions allowed. All right, CIT Bank. They have an 11-month no penalty CD with an APY of 3.5%. Minimum is $1,000. Penalty, none after about 7 days. Withdrawal of full balance only. And we have a quick comparison table here, so you can go over that. Right? And what's the best fit for you? And it's going to go over some information, such as if you want the highest yield on the standard 6-month CD and don't plan to withdraw it early. The standard 6-month CDs from banks like Marcus or E-Trade remains top choices. If you want flexibility in case you need your funds before 6 months, a 6-month no penalty CD at Climate First Bank is the best match. Alternatively, Marcus's 7-month no penalty CD at 4.5% gives similar flexibility with slightly longer term. If you prefer no deposit minimum, Ali's 11-month no penalty CD allows full withdrawal, no penalty, and has no minimum. Though yield is 3.4%, so it's lower than some of the other APYs. CIT Bank strikes a middle ground 3.5%, 1,000 minimum, no penalty after 7 days. So let's say it has insider notes from other users on Ali's no penalty CD. If you end the CD before the 11th month, before the full month, Ali will calculate how much interest you are due for the amount of days you had the account open, as long as you don't close a no penalty CD until the 7th day after funding. Zero penalty, and you keep all accrued interest. On Marcus, you can take the money out and you'll get the interest accrued to date. While you can remove your money, you need to remove the whole balance. Summary recommendations: what top APY and you're okay committing funds? Go with the standard 6 months, 4.4%, and avoid early withdrawal. If you prefer flexibility, in case you need access, consider Climate First Bank's 6-month no penalty CD. Need zero minimum and full liquidity. We're going to go with Ali's 11-month no penalty CD, though rate is lower. And then it's going to ask you another question. Would you like help reviewing the exact early withdrawing wording or fine print for any specific provider before you decide? So I think you get the point here of how you can use it for general information. Now what I would do is I might take my top couple of picks. I'm gonna show you how you would take if you have like Excel or let's say if you have Excel or, you know what, let's use Google Drive. So we're going to go into Google Drive and hit New. We're going to hit Google Sheets. And you can still see here in the tab that what we were working on in ChatGPT was top 6-month CDs. So the title of my spreadsheet is top 6-month CDs. Me, I probably am going to put the day's date because I want to, if I was trying to go back and look, I would want to know that it's when the information was searched. Because if it's, after it gets so old, it may not be relevant anymore anyway. So we're going to Control V, put that in the title. And then I didn't necessarily need to type this here. I want to leave it blank, so when I put everything in, it's just going to go straight into as a table. So we're going to go here. You see these two buttons right here? That's going to be copy table. We're going to hit copy. Then we're going to go into that first cell, Control V. All right. Now we have all the information as a table in Google Sheets. If you've never used Google Sheets, there's some shortcuts. Like you see, we can't see all the title of the banks in here, so we're going to double click, open that up, and then it's going to make it the length of the information that's in the cells. All right. If you're like me and want to clean up everything, you see, we already have these bolded out. I might go down here and center everything right here, just so it's a little more appeasing to the eye. Like I like to format my sales, maybe put a little shading here at the top. Maybe I'll use like a light gray. You might put the name of the CD. I want the titles in, let's say, yellow. I want the APY in green. You know why it's green? Money. I don't like that green. It's too much. Maybe like a lighter green. But the point is, you know, you can have everything formatted, you know, just more aesthetic if that's the kind of thing you're into. Well, that percent is how much interest you're going to accrue. So that's green for Monday, because that's what we invested for. That's what we want that percentage for Monday. All right, so let's get back on to ChatGPT. Now you know how to take this information and put it in an Excel spreadsheet. You can also do that here. So this one, what was this one? This one was no penalty. So I'll show you how to. So this would be my no penalty sheet, right? That's how you rename it. You just you right click on it, choose rename. So this was our no penalty sheet. So now we create another sheet. Go back over to ChatGPT, and this one right here, this one was, we'll just say regular CD. Make sure you're in the first cell and Control V. All right. So now you have all your data right in front of you. Right now, we haven't spent any money. These are free tools. The Google Sheets is free. And we've still been using the free version of ChatGPT. And we've used it to find out exactly how we would take $1,000 and accrue some interest. And you know what? To wrap it up, I'm going to show you how another question I might use to have ChatGPT help me get to the money, because we want to all get to the bag, right? That's the whole point, right? And so I might say, now remember, just because it gives you this suggestion at the bottom doesn't mean you have to continue there. It says, would you like help reviewing the exact early withdrawing wording or fine print for any specific provider before you decide? No, that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is, I want to know, how much will my $1,000 investment into Marcus be after the, let's say, 7-month no penalty versus the regular CD. Now here we go. Now we know exactly how much money we would have earned. Here's how your 1,000 will grow under the two scenarios based off of the APYs. The 7-month no penalty at the end of the 7 months with a 4.15% APY based on the compounding formula. You can withdraw the entire balance penalty free starting 7 days after funding. But we know if we leave it in there for 7 months, we will be withdrawing $1,024. I know it may not seem like a lot of money, but every dollar counts, because you could have either spent that $1,000 over the course of 7 months at McDonald's, or you could get it back with an additional $24. And if we do the standard 6-month CD, because the 6-month CD is at 4.4%, it is going to grow to $1,022. However, if you withdraw early before maturity, you'd incur a penalty of 90 days of interest, which significantly cuts your effective yield.